There is no secret that the general public, TV show fans, movie fans have all been upset with the state of streaming and how worse it has gotten over the years. Today, we are going to be reacting to a video by Raised talking about the situation. I started watching this video personally. I got about 3, maybe 4 minutes into it, and I was like, you know what? This is already great. I want to react to it for a video because, again, we talk about movies, TV on this channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down below. I'd love to watch this video together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Go show Raised some praise in the pinned comment description down below. The links will be there. Let's get into the video.
Piracy is making a major comeback. No, not that kind. Video piracy. Remember when streaming was supposed to be the hero that killed piracy?
Yeah, and I remember too. I was a part of the camp when Netflix first came about. Like, I was a kid when this first started appearing. People made fun of the people who ended up getting Netflix, but that kind of ended up changing over time. Where it's like, okay, you know, this could actually fix the problem with piracy, but it never did.
Yeah, that didn't happen, and the reasons why are obvious. Subscription prices are skyrocketing. Shows are getting pulled from libraries. And
oh, that one's ridiculous, man.
Exclusive content is being scattered across a dozen different services.
And I hate that. Like, right now, I'm watching Vikings. I watched 5 seasons of that thinking it was all on Netflix. And then I got all excited to watch the finale of season 5. I sat down. It was the worst episode I've ever seen because I thought it was the finale of the show. But it wasn't. And then I found out there's a whole other season on Apple TV, which I did not have.
Instead of making our lives easier, streaming has morphed into cable 2.0. Expensive, fragmented, and frustrating.
Yeah, and it's not only for TV shows, too. Like, I have that problem with the UFC right now. I'm a huge, huge fan of MMA. There is no place where I can go to watch all of MMA. Even one particular UFC card. I have to start off with UFC Fight Pass, which I have a yearly subscription to. Then I have to go to Sportsnet. Then I have to pay an $80 pay-per-view if we don't want to pirate it. I have to pay an $80 pay-per-view if I want to watch a big card after all of that. It's so expensive.
Want to watch Severance? You'll need Apple TV. Rewatch The Office? Well, it used to be on Netflix, but now you'll need Peacock. Sports? One game is on DAZN, another on Fubo.
It's ridiculous, man.
How are you?
And yeah, if I want to watch any other MMA content, like if I want to watch the LFA, that's on Fight Pass. If I want to watch PFL, that's on DAZN. If I want to watch Octagon, that's on its own pay-per-view, which sometimes it's on DAZN, sometimes it's not. Like, it is insane how, like, scattered everything is. It's crazy to me that's okay, but it's just not shocking one little bit.
How are you even supposed to keep track of where everything is? These days, finding that one specific movie you want to watch feels like a chore. You're going to need Google, maybe even a VPN, and while you're at it, may as well pull out your credit card because it's probably on a streaming service that you don't have.
Yeah, it always is too. Man, it always is. It's ridiculous. For me personally, I just, like, I sign up to the one streaming service that the one show is on. I'm somebody who watches one show at a time. Like, my wife and I, we have Netflix and Disney Plus, so that's always a thing that we have. But let's say, like, something's on Crave that I want to watch. I'll just pay for the month, and then I'll watch that show. That's how I run things, but that's still ridiculous, man.
Somehow, we've never had more entertainment available, yet we're constantly struggling to find and afford the stuff we actually want to watch.
It's weird how that works, eh?
Piracy has once again become the most convenient option, but it doesn't have to be. Look at music. They eventually figured it out. Imagine how stupid it would be if you could only listen to Kendrick Lamar on Spotify while Drake was exclusive to Apple Music.
Now, this was the point that actually made me sit down. Oh, maybe it was earlier. I thought I said I watched like 3-4 minutes about it. It was shortly after this point where I decided I wanted to make a reaction video to because I've never actually thought about that. That's basically what streaming is. How ridiculous would that be? I'm a fan of like Linkin Park, like MGK, Boy With You. If I had to like sign up to all these different streaming platforms in order to listen to it, we would all go, that's ridiculous. I'm never doing it, but we do it with movies.
Actually, given their beef, they might like that. So, never mind. In the early 2000s, music piracy, fueled by sites like Napster and LimeWire, had the music industry in full-blown panic.
Dude, I miss LimeWire. FrostWire too. Oh, the good old computer viruses. Dude, even just the word LimeWire, it brings so much nostalgia to my heart.
Piracy wasn't just winning because it was free, it was winning because it offered a superior service. Why would anyone bother going out to a store to buy a $10 CD just to hear that one song they liked? Napster and LimeWire gave you exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, and you plugged it all into a good old MP3 player, and then you went about your day. And remember how cool it was, too? Remember how cool it was? I, of course, YouTube have never done something of the sorts. I had a MP3 player that had built-in music. I've never used LimeWire, FrostWire in my life. It's just a nostalgic thing that I like to think about.
The music industry slowly came to terms with this being the future of music consumption, and in 2003, Apple launched the iTunes Music Store, selling digital downloads for 99 cents a song. For music lovers who weren't already pirating music, iTunes was incredible. It made music more accessible, arguably more affordable, and completely reshaped how we discover new artists.
$1 each, though. $1 each. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
But for the pirates, it didn't offer anything they didn't already have.
Yeah.
The game changer didn't arrive until 2008, when Spotify gave music pirates a real reason to quit.
Yep.
Suddenly, the iTunes model was obsolete. We stopped buying music altogether and started paying a monthly fee for all-you-can-stream access.
And that's the way to do it. Spotify figured it out, man. Like, it's not like, oh, listen to one artist here, listen to this artist over there. Spotify is the way to do it. I'm personally a YouTube music listener. I think YouTube music, for what I like to listen to, it is the perfect like blend of just like these obscure songs where like if I just like the tune of something, I can add it to the library if I wanted some sort of instrumental. Plus you have all of the actual official tracks on there too. YouTube music is incredibly underrated.
The price was right and the convenience was too. It became clear that if you wanted to actually stop piracy, you simply had to provide a better alternative.
I would have thought that was obvious.
At the same time as the music industry was seeing this massive transformation, the internet was making video piracy a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
Regulators' efforts to combat video piracy weren't working. They mostly relied on vague threats and public services.
Sorry. I keep bringing it back to MMA, but if you guys are familiar at all with Dana White too, the vague threats too. He's like, oh, for this person that's actually going to be streaming the fights, he's actually said this at press conferences, for this person who's going to be streaming the fights, you try streaming it. You try streaming it. We know where you are, and we got people waiting to knock down your door.
Announcements like this one.
I've never seen this. What is this?
The only success that came from this PSA was an unintentional meme about downloading a car.
Oh my, what did I miss? I am usually so involved in meme culture. Oh my god. Oh my god, is my boomer showing? This is horrible.
Which, let's be honest, we all would if we could.
Downloaded this vehicle.
Yes.
Well, that's stealing.
How's it stealing? I made an exact copy. I didn't steal anything from anyone.
You took potential profits from Toyota.
I wasn't going to buy a Hilux either way. They've lost no money. This hurts no one.
Why does that make sense?
It's actually quite a good argument for online piracy.
I pirated this vehicle.
When Netflix had begun pivoting from mailing out DVD rentals into becoming an internet streaming company, this was a real solution, combating piracy with convenience, much like Spotify did for music.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm somebody who would absolutely pay for convenience, but the problem is, and this is what the video is pretty well about, right, is the streaming is no longer about convenience, it's about profit.
Why bother dealing with shady torrent sites, pop-up ads for who knows what, and low-quality bootlegs when you could pay a few bucks a month for unlimited, high-quality content? Of course, piracy didn't disappear entirely, but illegally downloading content that was readily available on Netflix seemed kind of pointless.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but in my personal life, I don't know a ton of people who regularly pirate stuff. People just typically have the same Netflix, Disney Plus, Crave, maybe Paramount, where depending on where you live, right? And depending on what you typically watch. I know, like, for example, Crave, for like the Big Bang Theory lovers, you can just watch that at your convenience. You'll have that subscription.
This was the streaming golden age. Netflix was on its way to becoming a central place for all your favorite movies and TV shows. That is, until competition arrived.
Like the tank rolling over. But yeah, I remember when Netflix first came out too, everybody was making fun of, like, in grade school, I remember one kid whose family had Netflix, everybody made fun of him. And I don't know why. Like, Netflix was a good idea, and I can't believe that. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but I can't believe that people actually, like, didn't see that becoming the future. I'm not saying that I saw it becoming the future. I certainly did it. But we didn't exactly know why we made fun of people having Netflix. It's like, oh my god, this guy doesn't have a Blu-ray. Crazy.
Suddenly, your favorite movies and shows weren't all in one place anymore. Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock, and a slew of others entered their arena, all vying for your attention and your dollars. Unlike Spotify and Apple Music, which offer virtually the same music libraries, video streaming took a completely different turn. Content on one platform cannot coexist somewhere else.
And I'm okay with that, honestly, and it makes sense. Every platform wants its own stuff, but what I can't stand is when the same show is split up. Like I said, Vikings right now. I had to actually buy it on Apple TV. You couldn't just stream it. I had to buy it. And they're lucky that it was a fantastic show because, and I'm not, honestly, guys, I'm not somebody who pirates movies. I'm not even just saying that for the sake of videos. Like, I just don't want the inconvenience of it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I don't start watching a new show anymore. And well, I mean, like, brand new rule to myself after the Viking situation. But I will make sure that every season of a show is available on the same platform. If it's not, I'm not watching the show.
We were apparently all naive to assume that it could. These streaming services have now made it clear that nothing is permanent. Warner Brothers Discovery pulled Westworld and a bunch of other HBO shows from HBO Max to avoid paying residuals. Disney Plus has been caught removing original films and series without warning, and Netflix is notorious for constantly rotating its library, making it impossible to rely on the service for long-term access to anything.
Everything is just leaving soon, leaving today, leaving tomorrow.
Even digital purchases aren't safe anymore. Amazon has been caught deleting or restricting access to movies that customers had actually bought.
Really? But I'm sure that's like down deep in the terms and service somewhere where it's like, hey, we can do this and there's nothing you can do about it.
So let me get this straight. You pay for a streaming service, you get emotionally invested in a show, and then one day it vanishes without a trace? And the only surefire way to watch it whenever you want is to download it illegally? Yeah, that'll definitely kill piracy.
Mm-hmm.
While the streaming wars began as a battle royale for content supremacy, licensing disputes and complex streaming contracts have soured the entire industry.
You know what? Now that I think about it too, it's funny how that never actually happened to music. Maybe it will one day. Why hasn't it though? Why has it worked for shows but not movies? If anybody could shed some light in the comments, I would appreciate that because I can't wrap my head around it.
Like, why could Disney Plus subscribers in the US watch The Bear while those in Australia couldn't? These kinds of headaches are a big part of why streaming companies have morphed into becoming their own production studios.
Yep. Something I want to watch, guys. I love the show The Middle. I have looked everywhere for that show. And if you look it up online, oh, it's here, it's here, it's here. You can watch it, you can buy it, whatever. Not in Canada. There is literally nowhere I can watch that show, and it's a show that I've watched in my childhood with my mom, and I wanted to revisit that show with her, like, because I end up going over to her house every Saturday to watch some fights with my family. Before that, we talked about, like, okay, let's watch The Middle. You can't do that. You can't find it. Just because I live in Canada.
Netflix originals like Squid Game should, in theory, be available forever and accessible everywhere. This evolution of streaming companies producing their own content means you're no longer subscribing to the platform with the best catalog of acquisitions. You're essentially investing into a single studio that's hopefully producing something good. Netflix is planning to drop a staggering $18 billion on content in 2025 alone.
Wow, eh? Wait, is that original content or is that just like creating more shows? If it's original shows right now, I believe that Prime Video has the best.
With the lion's share going to originals. Like finally delivering the last season of Stranger Things, even if the years of delays make it hard for the actors to still pass as kids. But
yeah, like I'm not going to enjoy Stranger Things as much as I did because they're all adults now. They're all adults. Were they in high school? Were they in grade school? What were they at the beginning of Stranger Things? Now it's all adults acting as kids.
Whatever.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Literally.
What?
At some point, Netflix and its rivals will start seeing diminishing returns on their massive spending on original content and on what they can reasonably charge subscribers. If Netflix decided to spend $100 billion on new content, would you be willing to shell out $200 a month for it?
Nope.
Probably not.
Yep.
There's only
that would never happen. Never happen. Like what it's at now is probably the maximum that I would personally pay. I don't understand. Like the only expensive subscription I pay for is for UFC Fight Pass. That's yearly, but even then that works out to being like what, $11 a month? Yeah, that's not even expensive. I just have that like one, like what is it, $110, whatever it ends up being. At the end of the year, I have a discount for paying yearly. That's the only thing that I would pay like a premium subscription for, but nothing else,
so
dude.
Much content we can consume, and it's not like every original is a hit. The few must-watch movies and shows remain scattered across too many different platforms. According to Deloitte's Digital Media Trends report, the average US streaming video subscriber pays for 4 services, adding up to a hefty $69 per month.
That's actually crazy. Yeah, I pay for Netflix. Oh no, we don't pay for Disney Plus. No, so I pay for Netflix right now. I just bought on Apple TV, which I rarely buy shows. I just really, really wanted to watch Vikings. Typically, I would just pay for whatever else I'm watching it on. We have Netflix. Oh, we have Crave too. But Crave is my wife's brother's account that we're sharing. Disney Plus is my wife's family's account that we're sharing, so we only pay for Netflix now that I think about it. Go us, we're doing a good job.
That's insane, and almost certainly unsustainable, considering that over 50% of Gen Z and millennials surveyed had canceled at least one paid streaming service in the last 6 months. Because streaming has become so expensive, we're going to start seeing more people picking a streaming service like they pick a sports team, crossing their fingers that the new releases will be good enough to justify sticking with it.
That's a good point, but again, like what I do is I just pay for 1 month, and then if there's something else I want to watch on a different platform, then I pay for that.
Why?
Well, you know, support the team.
Sure, you could drop Netflix after binging Inventing Anna, just so you could afford to subscribe to Apple TV for Ted Lasso, but are you really going to go through that hassle every single month?
It is a hassle, to be honest with you, but yes, I do go through the hassle. I'm a mindless consumer.
That's incredibly annoying. The reality is, if you can't afford to subscribe to both, your options are to either pirate Ted Lasso or just never watch it. Neither option is a win for the consumer. Unfortunately, it's not just the fractured nature of exclusive content that's the problem. It's that streaming companies now have absolute control over everything. They get to call all the shots, from what gets greenlit and the budget to how it's released.
But to be fair, I don't think that's necessarily an issue. Like, the only issue that I really have with streaming, like, the price could be better, but I'm okay with it just because I pay for one thing at a time. The only problem that I have is when something that I'm watching is split up. That's my only gripe with it.
Warner Brothers famously killed Batgirl, even though it was already filmed, and they had already sunk $90 million into it.
Wow.
Why? Purely for a tax write-off.
Really? I didn't know that. I mean, it sucks that the show never came out, but that's weird.
I'm sure their fans really love that. And have you noticed how those genuinely hilarious R-rated comedy films that define the 2000s aren't being made anymore? It's not because people don't want them. It's because streaming companies aren't interested in making them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's something that I really, really miss. Not only for movies, but for TV shows too. I really miss, like, really coming together, everybody watching a movie, everybody getting hyped up to watch a particular show. Every once in a while it happens with TV shows, but you don't have those, like, banger movies anymore. I miss that a lot, man.
Whether it's due to the relentless competition or Wall Street's insatiable hunger for growth, Netflix, once the golden child of video streaming, has steadily become less and less consumer friendly.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I can really say. By the way, I'm really enjoying how this video is presented. Like, even just like with the Netflix and like what they just did here, I think it's really cool.
The golden
Look at
child
this.
of video streaming has steadily become less and less consumer friendly.
That's really cool, man. And they've done that a lot too. Like, I've liked the grid backgrounds they've been using too. The production for this video is phenomenal, guys. Please go show the channel some support in the description. Pin comment down below. The links will be there. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to talk about, like, the last movie that I actually really tried was, like, Bill Burr's movie. That was the only one, but it didn't even gain that much traction. I don't even remember what it was called. It was the one where he was a dad. Good dads, old dad, something along those lines. I don't even remember, but the world didn't even come together and watch that movie. It's just, like, that one was actually going out of the box. I remember exactly what I was talking about now, though. Is Netflix, and I can't say this personally because I don't spend a lot of time just, like, browsing Netflix. I go, oh, I heard about the show Vikings. Where can I watch it? I'm going to go watch it. I don't typically browse streaming sites. From what I've seen in my experience, though, Netflix is like one of the worst for their library.
For years, Netflix practically encouraged password sharing. It was part of their brand identity. Love is sharing a password. They tweeted that in 2017. In a complete reversal, they declared war on account sharing in 2023, forcing users to either pay extra for additional profiles or risk getting locked out. Other streaming platforms quickly followed suit.
Yeah, of course they would too. It's just like all it takes is for one of them to make it A-okay. Just like we're talking about with Nintendo, right? Nintendo releasing the price for the new Switch games for the new Mario Kart. That's going to be an industry standard now that Nintendo actually ripped that Band-Aid off.
This wasn't about security or fairness. It was a blatant attempt to squeeze more money out of subscribers. To add insult to injury, Bezos, who has enough money to take joyrides to space, began forcing ads on Prime Video users even though they're already paying for the service.
Yeah, that's crazy too. It's not shocking, but at least, with Prime, it's not like a horrible hassle.
And predictably, many other streaming companies, including Netflix, have jumped on the bandwagon, offering ad-supported tiers that cost about the same as what you were paying already.
And like I said, all it takes is just one company to do it, and then all of them will follow suit.
This kind of blatant corporate greed is exactly what drives people to look for alternatives.
But everybody's going to keep paying. Everybody's going to be the mindless consumers that they are. And I'm not saying like I'm here above everybody else. Like, we have to deal with it. That's how the world works.
And when all streaming services are doing the same thing, the only alternative is piracy.
Well, pirating is stealing. We didn't steal it, okay? We just downloaded it.
No, the website is called moviepirate.com.
And the other one is called Free Movies / Arg.
I don't know what movie this is, but I've never seen it before.
I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern here because I also use one called stolenmovies.free.
It's funny how some of those websites, though, actually have like names like that.
Years, Netflix has become increasingly concerned about how easily people can avoid paying for their service. In the competition section of Netflix 2024 annual review, piracy gets mentioned several times. Back when Netflix first launched, its on-demand streaming experience had a major advantage over most pirate sites.
Oh yeah, especially when it first started. But the problem is, like, the question is, obviously they could be making more money, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people pirating, but is it enough to really matter? Because I would imagine most people, most families will just pay for that convenience instead of going out and pirating things.
The most common way to pirate something was with torrents, which required at least some technical...
I forgot about uTorrent completely. Oh my god. That just unlocked a memory.
know-how, and you had to wait for the content to download. Today, most pirate sites offer on-demand streaming with a user experience that's virtually identical to Netflix, but with more content and no subscription fee. Netflix piracy concerns are valid. They are losing billions of dollars.
Really? Is it that much? I wouldn't have guessed it was that much, guys. But maybe it's just like, I guess that's why I can't like think of it I can't look into it personally, right? Because I don't know too many people that end up pirating movies. Huh. 113 billion? I would have never guessed that, man.
But it's not like the company is anywhere close to collapsing. In fact, despite doing everything in their power to piss off their own customers, like raising prices, introducing ads, and cracking down on password sharing, 2024 was one of their best years.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's just going to consume more anyways, right? We're only getting more addicted to content. We're only getting more addicted to our phones. We're only getting lazier. Everybody's only getting more depressed, and everybody's going to sit around snacking more and more as time goes on.
It seems people have a surprising amount of loyalty to Netflix, even if the value proposition isn't always great. Subscriptions are incredibly sticky. Once you sign up for one, you're likely to stay subscribed.
Now, he's right in saying this. I just don't understand why, because I'm not that way. I keep Netflix because my wife likes Netflix. She always finds something new on Netflix to watch, and I end up watching some stuff with her sometimes. But if it was just me, I would not have that loyalty to Netflix.
If Netflix was actually suffering considerably from piracy, then they would be much more aggressive in trying to shut down these illicit sites.
Could you really, though? I don't even think that you'd be able to.
But even then, new ones will inevitably pop up to take their place.
Yeah.
So it's not really a long-term solution. If consolidation of streaming services isn't going to happen, then Netflix's only real path forward is to continue making high-quality exclusive content at a price point that makes people happy to pay for it.
Yeah, and I loved Wednesday. I thought that was a great show. I can't even think about a lot of Netflix originals that I actually really loved, though. I'm sure there's some. I don't even like Stranger Things that much, to be honest with you guys. Like, Wednesday was great. That's pretty well it.
Judging by their recent growth in membership, it seems to be working for them, at least for now. The same can't be said for some of the other streaming companies. Ideally, we shouldn't be advocating for piracy because content isn't free to produce, so it shouldn't be free to consume either. However, in the current streaming landscape, even with an abundance of high-quality content, having to subscribe to multiple services at once just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I mean, that still doesn't make the pirating movies okay, obviously, right? Like I said a couple times in this video over, guys, the only issue I have is when you have seasons split up. I got it on Netflix, then Prime, then Disney, then Max, then Paramount, then Hulu, then Peacock, then Apple TV. That is the only problem that I have with it. And that's where I understand why people would pirate movies. Other than that, I mean, it is what it is, man. Just watch what you're spending.
Piracy isn't going away. In fact, it will only intensify as these companies squeeze harder, driving consumers towards the very alternatives they claim to fight. The truth is simple. People don't pirate because they want to steal. They pirate because they're forced to, by inconvenience, outrageous prices, or content scarcity.
And before any of you comment down below and say, well, technically it's not forcing. It's not forcing because nobody's having your hand to go to the pirate site. Nobody's making you type on your keyboard with a gun to your head. Stop. You know what he's talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I just know that I'm going to get some of those comments.
And right now, streaming offers us all three. If these companies truly want to stop piracy, then they need to look in the mirror, because they're the ones causing it. So until they choose to fix the broken system that they themselves have created, it's a pirate's life for me.
I don't know if there is ever going to be a fix to it. And I don't know if they are ever going to consider actually, you know, fixing the problems that they're having, because I would imagine that they're profiting. Like the creator of the video just talked about, like at least Netflix is profiting still, big time. Is that the end of the video? Okay. Dude, that was a fantastic video. I've never watched Raised before. I really, really enjoy the production of that video, guys. This video has been getting a ton of traction. So, again, please support Raised in the pinned comment. Description down below, the links will be there. But if you are already subscribed, have shown your support, then why don't you check out this video on screen right now. We talk about what's going on with the Minecraft movie and the chicken jockey meme. Is that right? Is it wrong? I'd love to have you over there. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Take care.